your boy Rob. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, hit that subscribe button below and let's get started. I do apologise guys, I haven't made many videos in the last couple of weeks, but it is leading up to Christmas and I have been swamped at work, so I have not much time to get out and about, but I have been doing plenty of online shopping on the old eBay, so I do have a bunch of packages coming right before Christmas and a bunch after Christmas, so I will be spamming you guys with plenty of videos just after Christmas. It is currently 2 days before Christmas and I did get out in the last week or two, so I did manage to pick myself a couple of goodies. So without any further ado, let's check out the first thing I got, and that happens to be Badushka. Good old Hyper Zone on the Super Nintendo. I got this one at Cash Converters for 17 bucks. As you can see, it was reduced from $29, so really good bargain. I don't encounter too many Super Nintendo games here and there, so when I do find some, I do pick them up because I do love myself some Super Nintendo. Absolutely no idea what this game is about. It looks some kind of sci-fi plane shooting thing, so I will check this one out as I do love myself some shooting games. As you can see, the condition of this one is pretty damn good, even if I say so myself, or at least the front of it is nice and clean, nice and bright. Not much dirt, no scuffs, nothing like that. But however, the back of it is slightly yellowing. As you can see, those two layers look slightly different in colour, which I'm not too worried about. I won't be retro brightening this one either, because yeah, I don't think it needs it. It adds to the good old nostalgic charm of it. And the next game I managed to get is also a Super Nintendo game, but this one was at good old Game Traders, and that happens to be Wing Commander: The Secret Missions. Like I said, on the Super Nintendo as well. This one, great condition at the front, like I said. No, a little bit of dirt here and there, probably some sticker residue, nothing like that, nothing major. 29 bucks for this one, so really stoked with that. However, back of it is slightly yellowing as well. A little bit of what is it? Probably sticker residue, things like that all along here, which I will remove with some isopropyl alcohol because that is not very hard to do at all. And the next thing I managed to get myself, also at Game Traders, happens to be something I have absolutely no idea what it is, but it is for the good old Nintendo 64. So without any further ado, let's check it out, and that happens to be, boom, a good old Nintendo 64 transfer pack. 20 bucks for this one. It does say insert Game Boy game in there, so I'm assuming back in those days the only Game Boy game and 64 compatible games were some of the Pokemon games, if I'm not mistaken. Most likely what was out on a Nintendo 64. Pokemon Snap is the only game I can kind of remember that was on the Nintendo 64. So I have absolutely no idea what things you'd be transferring from Game Boy to the good old Nintendo 64, but most likely my first assumption is something to do with Pokemons. Not a Pokemon fan at all in the slightest, never was, never will be, just not my kind of franchise. But yeah, keen to check this one out, and it is one of those little things you don't have in the collection, so yeah, I need every single accessory that was created for the good old Nintendo 64, so it will be nice to have everything complete and on the shelf. And the next game I managed to get while I was up there is an absolute gem and an absolute classic. One of the best games that was on the Nintendo 64, but this one is on the good old Game Boy Color, and happens to be good old, boom, Perfect Dark. Paid 39, 40 bucks for this one, so really stoked with that. Absolutely no idea how good this game is, but I do love myself some Rareware games back in the day. They were literally making the best Nintendo games that were not first party Nintendo games. This one, not quite sure why the cartridge looks a little bit funky, but you do need to slot yourself a little battery. I'm thinking it's a AA battery or maybe AAA battery, but I have absolutely no idea why you need that, as it already does have a little memory battery in there. So really keen to read about this and see why it actually does require this little extra battery. So really keen to check that one out, and like I said, loved Perfect Dark on Nintendo 64, played hundreds of hours of it, and I still do to this day. Absolutely gem of a game. And finally, one of my eBay purchases has arrived, which I already have taken out just to see what it is, and it happens to be one of the worst games ever, and it is a Nintendo 64 game. And what encouraged me to get this game was watching the Angry Video Nerd and him trashing it, and I do love myself some bad games. So yeah, without further ado, it happens to be the one and only Badushka. Good old Superman 64. Absolute trash game. Absolute, everyone who's ever played it absolutely hates it. It's one of the worst games ever made. One of the worst games. Oh no, probably not. E.T. on the Atari was probably one of the worst games. Probably the second worst game that was ever made. All you do is pretty much fly through rings, and the controls of this game are absolutely horrific, so it even makes it impossible to fly through those rings. But yeah, I love myself an absolute trash game, so I will play it for about 10-15 minutes just to experience the badness of it. But as you can see, this cartridge absolutely factory fresh. Not a scratch on it, no dirt on it, no yellowing, nothing at all. Absolutely clean and pristine, but I understand why. Someone probably bought this game thinking it's going to be an absolute awesome Superman game, played it for 10-15 minutes, realized how bad it was, put it on a shelf and never touched it again for about 25 years until they decided to trade it in a good old Game Traders. So yeah, keen to check this one out, and yeah, like I said, love myself some bad games. So yeah, that is what I managed to pick up this week, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button, hit a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!